repeats itself. And life, when you get down to it, life that you live, it's like a video game. And I've done video game comparisons, and I have another one that I just want to delve into just to show how these things repeat. And even that's where some of the concepts of video games come from. But you have, and I'm just gonna make everything clear. You have the soul, which is your eternal being. Your soul is what breaks off the spirit. So I have a soul, but what you're looking at now or what's talking is this is the body of Aaron, but inhabiting the body of Aaron is the spirit of Aaron. And to it's appointed that a soul has one life to live. I'm sorry, a spirit has one life to live, which is true. The spirit of Aaron is living one life. When this life comes to an end, hopefully at the completion of everything that I was coming into this life to do, then this soul will return. This spirit, Aaron, will return to the soul of Aaron. Um, but in the so that's I just want to explain that as far as soul and spirit in a video game, it's replicated. In a video game, you're the soul, as in you, the person. You are the soul. Your soul calls upon the equivalent of the spirits. So you, the player, are the soul. Your avatar in the game is the spirit. Your avatar in the game is literally just that. Your avatar is doing what it is that you set forth to do. So, just a couple examples here of how this actually goes. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not up to date on games. I'm not a gamer. The only game I consistently played at any period of time probably was Madden, and I don't even really play Madden anymore. I haven't played Madden in years. But let's start with Madden because Madden's the one I know the best. In Madden, the players who could be the soul each have a role. So you could have a team of players in Madden, and in a team of players in Madden, you may have individuals on opposing teams that are actually best friends, but are actually at odds with each other while playing the game. And you may have people that are on the same team that actually, as individuals, that are at odds at each other in the game. So let's say you take, and I'm picking Madden because I'm familiar with how it was. I don't know if it's still like that now, but you could put together a team of individuals, and everybody's coming into that game. And when they come into the game, they don't know, or they don't necessarily know who anyone is that they start to play with. So you, the person, come into this life and you've forgotten everything. You know nothing unless you're one of those rare people that comes back with those memories. So you come into the game and you're playing, and you don't necessarily know if the people that you're playing with are friends, ops, or what. And you can have friends and ops that are on your team, And you can have friends or ops on the opposing team, and you may not necessarily know. I know at one time I was playing Madden, and was playing Madden with someone that I knew. I didn't know it was someone that I knew, but I found out later that I was playing with someone that I actually knew, and neither of us had any idea. And it came up in conversation. So that's an example. I want to take another example, and I don't know what the games are right now that apply, but let's take um, a one-on-one combat game. Um, Something like Street Fighter is the only thing coming to mind, but Street Fighter, you're coming in a Street Fighter, and in a Street Fighter, you're enemies. But the person that's acting as your enemy in Street Fighter, and forgive me for using Street Fighter, I'm sure there's something that's much newer. And if you don't know what Street Fighter is, I think you can figure it out. But the person that you're fighting against, frequently that person is a friend. It may not necessarily be an enemy. So the whole point that I'm trying to make here, and we'll dive into one more. We'll take a game like um, Halo or Call of Duty. You put together a group of people, and sometimes they work together, sometimes they work against each other, and it's all determined by how the game plays out. So the player, being the soul, basically may not know who the other souls are that are actually playing with their avatars in this game. And they're choosing to dive into this game under horrible conditions. So you, the player, chose, equivalent to the soul, chose to drop yourself into the middle of an environment that is probably an inhospitable environment to enjoy playing a game with people that you may know or people you may not know, people that may be friends, people that may be enemies. It's the same thing at a higher level when you're looking at a soul. The soul chooses the spirit that's going to exist. Your biggest enemy, and it's not good to have enemies, but the person that gives you the most difficulty in this life may actually be the soul that you are the closest to. And all of these things that you're going through, it was already determined before either of you took on this life. It was determined that, we'll say, Soul John, the spirit of the soul of, so we'll just say soul number one, the spirit of soul number one, John, is working with the spirit of soul number two, Robert. And soul number one and soul number two have already decided this time around, this is John's lesson and experience. And this time around, this is Robert's lesson and Robert's experience. And Robert and John get dropped into this existence. And Robert and John, they don't have a full understanding. And honestly, how aware do you think your avatars in a video game are aware of what's going on at, at this point? Not to say there won't be awareness at some point or a growing awareness, but that's a discussion for another time. So they're putting forth the efforts based on what they have to work with. And again, it might be you and your best friend playing, but when it comes to the actual game, if it's a fighting game, you're fighting with everything that you have to beat the person who's your friend in order to win the game. Now, in a video game, it's for the purpose of winning the game. At the soul and spirit level, it's for the purpose of gaining the experience. And the whole purpose of each spirit that the soul sends down to the earth, or to it sends down to any existence, is to gain whatever that experience is. So the soul's purpose is to gain the experience and to bring that experience into the soul. Once the soul has obtained and procured every experience that souls are looking for and they need, then that soul returns to the soul that it came from. And that's just uh, that's just another example that I'm giving for those that say, I would never choose to come down here. I would never choose to do this. Your avatar in the game might be saying, why the hell am I here? Why would I want to be in the middle of a war zone? Why, even worse, why would I want to be in the middle of a war zone in the past? So, just a thought of what came to me in regards to this. So, you are here because you chose to be here. Your spirit, the spirit of Aaron, did not say, hey, I'm coming here to do this. But the soul that the spirit of Aaron came from said, okay, Aaron is going down. This is what Aaron needs to accomplish and do here. And part of that path for me was to be slightly awakened while I was in college, and then to totally lose sight of that for decades. So the overall path, just spiritually, for the spirit of Aaron that my soul chose to send down was to be born, to grow up in the church, to leave the church, and basically get a touch on spirituality, and then to lose sight of that for decades, to go back into the church, to leave the church, and know that I wasn't going back into the church again, and then still years later to become awakened spiritually due to the series of events and health issues that I had. Would I have chose this if I could choose it? Not exactly the life that I would choose, but I know now that this choice was made beyond me, as they say, above my pay grade. It's above, determined by the soul. So I am the soul, but the avatar that I am is the spirit of Aaron. I hope this clarifies a little bit. I welcome questions. I welcome comments. And I'll just say the spirit of Aaron and the soul of Aaron loves you. And I can say I love you no matter who you are, because I look at you from a soul level. And if you're doing some of the most horrid acts from a soul level, I can say soul to soul, I love you. As the human, I'll look at you and say you're doing some horrid, vile things. But looking at you as a soul, I love you. And that closes out my message here. Again, I love you. Make sure you love yourself more. Peace.